Yes, Akash.
Okay. Today I'll tell you about user form. Okay. User form is nothing but, so here in VBA or using Excel, we can create a form design. We have to design the form, and we have to collect the information from the candidate, or any kind of a information, any kind of a form you can create here. Just see, for example, I want to create a form here related to the students who are taking the courses here. For initial like when they come for the inquiry for the courses, right? I just want to collect their name, email ID, and contact number, their education experience, and which course they are looking for. These all information I want to collect that. And after collecting, and just I want to collect the data from the user form. This kind of a form we can create in a user form now. Can you all see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yes. Then how can we create a user form here in a VBS? See, that insert, we using a insert module, right? Here on top you can see the user form option. Once you click on that user form, you can see the user form option here. That is the user form. The size will be very small. What form you are creating, based on your requirement, you can increase that user form size. I'll increase that user form size here. Yes, I increase that. And when you insert the user form, here you can see the toolbox. Toolbox will help us to design our user form here. To design, this is a blank user form. What we can see now, the blank page. So we have to design that user form. So if you can't see that toolbox sometimes, that toolbox will be there in a view. Here, see toolbox, hide and unhide. In a view, you can see that option. Now I will start designing this user form. Now the first, I want to be add here a date. So for a date, here can you see the A mark here? That is a label we can call label. I'll select, just I will use a right click on a mouse, just I'll drag and drop it here. Okay, that first thing what we have to do is, when we insert a user form, the font size will be very small. So first thing we have to increase and adjust the font size. So how can we do that? Can you see here now, font and three dots you can see, click on that and increase the font size. I'll increase to the 14. Okay, then okay. Label is automatically increase that. And the label, if I want to rename that label name, just one moment, I'll decrease the size again. That label, that label I inserted, then I'll adjust that size. I'll rename that label name. That label name I'll rename. If you want to rename the label name, here you can see the caption here, right? Double click on that caption and rename that label name as a date. I'll just rename that. And here I want to give a space to enter a today's date or any date. I have to give a space there, right? If you want to give that space, we have to use a text box there. If the user wants to add a text, click on that and just you can drag and drop to where you need. The user will enter a today's date here. Got it? Any doubt till here? Muttu, Aishwarya?
No. No, no, Akash.
Okay. Now, after design, just I'm doing a design here. Again, I'll insert a label. Just I'll drag and drop it here. This label name I'll rename as, oh shit. So the problem is it will take a same size. What I'll do is I'll delete this user form now, or else I'll insert a new user form. Insert user form, and I'll adjust the size. Once you adjusted the size better, you have to increase that size beginning only first. here. Before inserting any label or any text box, first only you can insert that size, can give OK. For the entire user form, it will be taking the same size if you adjusted a size in the beginning. Okay. Now label, I'll adjust this label. Then I'll rename that label name as a date here in caption, date. Then I have to give a space here to write. So I'll use a text box. Then I'll take the date. Now a name of the candidate. So drag and drop. So I'll rename this label name as a date, double click and name. Okay. Then I have to give a space to write their name. So I'll use a text box. Okay. Then again, after collecting their name, what all the information other we need? Contact number, email ID. So those all labels you can add and give a space to text box. Using a text box label, I'll rename this as an email ID, email. Then I'll again use a text box. Just I'll adjust this here again. Then after email ID, I want to collect their contact number. I need a contact number of that. So just I'm doing here. Yes, I'll rename as a contact. Enter. Then here again I'll give a text box here. Okay, this is how we design the user form. Now I want to collect their gender. Gender means a male or female. So that gender we have not give a, it's not good to give here. If you see that any kind of a form, the gender you have to just click that whether you're male or female, just check mark we have to enter, right? So there we have an option here for option button, either this or this, male or female. So for that I'll use, if you want to insert a option button, that directly we can't insert that option button outside. We have to insert the frame first. Frame we have to insert. Once you inserted your frame, then rename that frame name. The frame name I will rename in a caption again. Frame 1 I'll rename as a gender. And gender here we have to give a option button within this frame now. So what I'll do is I'll check the option button, then drag and drop, then again option button here, then insert that option button. I'll rename that option button name as a male and a female. Sorry, this is female or male. Okay. So once we inserted a option button, remember option button or this checkbox also we need to insert in a frame only. The difference is option button and checkbox. This is a checkbox. Checkbox we used to use for the multiple selection. Option button only one option, either male or female. Don't get confusion here. Okay. Till here any confusion or doubt?
No.
No.
Okay. Then I want to I want to get their educational experience. So what I'll do is I will insert a label. Okay, qualification. I'll rename this as a qualification. Then here for qualification, we can't give a text box here. It's not good. There we have to create some drop down. We have to give the option become MBA, MCOM, BE like this drop down list. So that drop down list we can use in a combo box. Combo box, select that combo box, drag and drop. Here you can see the drop down list. But here in drop down, we need to add items here, right? To create that items, you can just take a reference here. Okay, that reference I will take it here as a BCom, MBA, BE, BCA, BSc. What all the names you want to take, you can write those all things. Just I will take only few things and directly I will go with the other. Select that option. Then after selecting this, what we need to do is we need to define this name in Excel. So to define that name, just I will go here for the name box. I will give one name for that, ADU. You can give whatever the name you want to give for that particular range. You have to select first, then give that name, then enter. Once I click enter, when you select that range, automatically that will give you a name what you are given. So if you want to see those all drop down here in the list, we should click on the combo box. Once you click on this combo box here, can you see here a row source in this property? Okay, row
Yes.
source, what name we are given there, right? You have to add the name that is here. Okay, edu, then enter. Once you hit enter after giving that name here, you can see the drop down list now. So very simple. Okay, the user what he need, he will just select that option here. Okay, is it clear?
Yes.
Yes, I'll create a experience here. For experience, I'll again use a label. I will rename this caption as a experience. I'll again give a drop down here. So I'll use a combo box. Just I'll give a space. Combo box is inserted. Then again I'll take a reference here. Fresher, lesser than 1 year experience, lesser than 2 years, lesser than 3 years, lesser than four, lesser than five, and more than five. Okay, so select these all things, then give as any name here. I'll give exp, sorry, exp. Then beyond that combo box, check where you can see here row source. Here is a, we have to give that sorry, what is that, exp. Now you can see those all things. Later you can select that option. Okay,
Suppose we will delete from that Excel then.
it will go away. There we have to directly we can create that drop down. Later I will tell you that without
Okay,
reference
okay,
how can we create it.
okay.
Okay,
Yes, yes.
and now I want to get which course he's looking for. So which course is looking for means we can't say in a exact one course you're looking for. He can check for the many courses, right? So there I'll use a checkbox option for a multiple selection. So that checkbox again we have to add those all checkbox in frame only. I'll use a frame. I'll rename that frame name. I'll rename that frame name as courses. Okay. So the courses, I'll go with a checkbox here. If you want to select a multiple times, double click on that. Once you click on double click, it will help us to use that option multiple times. Okay. Or else again and again you have to go and check that option. Instead of double click, that will easily help us to select the multiple times. Use that multiple times. Then again, if you want to do it normal, you have to go and select the objects. Again, it will be a normal. I'll rename this all courses one by one. I'll rename this as Excel and this a VBA, SQL. This I'll rename as Power BI. I'll rename this as a Tally, and here I'll rename as a Python. Okay. So now the design is ready. I will give you a one button here to submit. The user will fill this all information. Once you click on the submit, I need to get this all information in this worksheet. So what I will do is for a submit button, I'll use a one command button here. For a submit, I'll use a command button. Command button where I can see this here. Command button is there, no? Click on that. and insert it in a center. Okay, this I'll rename as a submit. And to clear that user form, I'll use a one more command button. Then I'll use a clear option just to clear the user form, make it as empty again. Clear. Okay, now the design complete. Design is ready. So now, what I want to do. So if I want to get that design, F5, when you press F5, you can see the user form will display like this. F5, I am using F5. So F5, when you click, the user will fill this all information here. The date, his name or email ID, contact number, male or female, then female or male, and then experience. After he will check these all things. And once he click on submit, I should get the all information should be printed here in a active sheet or active workbook. So yet we have to create a just this is a design what we done. We have to write a code for this. Now I will start writing code for this command. So before that, I'll make a header here. So first here should be print a date. Then here should be a name of the candidate. Then their email ID, and here should print as a contact number. Here should print as a contact number. Then here a gender should print, qualification, and here should print experience and a course what here looking for. Yeah, I want to collect those all information here in the cells. Okay, now before writing the code, here if you get clicking on this text box name you can see on top, text box 1, this is text box 2, and this is text box 3. You can see here on top, right? But while I'm writing a code here for a text box for 1, text box for 2, I will be get confusion here. What is the text box 1? What is the text box 2? I will rename that with a particular name as per my convenient. So user will fill here a date, right? So I'll rename as a date here. But date label name is also same. Then text box is also same. Again, it will be problem here. So I will take a one series here. Whatever you can take t date, because the label name should not be equals to the name. Understood?
Yes.
Aishwarya, Muttu, got it? Just I am using a name that here t name. Just for my understanding, I'm using a t and a name. Then t email. Please be on mute. I have some disturbance. Okay. Then here t contact. I'll rename this as a name as option button 1 to t female. I'll rename this as a t male. Here I'll rename as tqua. Okay. TQUA, shortcut of qualification I given. Then here I'll rename this as a TEDU. Remember this, okay? TEDU I given. And here I'll rename this course name with the TXL, TVBA, TSQL, T Power BI, T Tally, T Python. The submit button also I'll rename that T submit, and this is T clear. I rename all the things. Okay. Now easily I can name that. I easily I can get that name. Okay, where I have to write the code here. So we can't write a code here for in any model. We have to create write a code here in this user form only. So finally, when that code should execute, when the user will press on the submit key, that all should be printed here in this all column. So I'll double click on the submit. Once you click double click on that submit, that private sub t submit what command what name I given for that, it will come with a subroutine. Here we have to start writing the code here. So again, if you want to back to the user form, just click on the user form 2, double click on the submit to come here for the code part. Now, where I want to print the date, in which cell I want to print the date, 2 comma a column, correct?
Yes.
Second row and a column. Here, the first student information is filled with the second row, then 3, 4. It should be print below that name, right? So here, don't give that 2 comma, like you have to find out LR here. Every time it should be print in a new next row, new row, right? Last row.
Yes.
So cells of rows dot count, comma 1 and excel up dot row and excel up then dot row. Then where I want to print a result now for the date, cells of here, instead of taking every time LR plus 1, here only I will do a plus 1 after that LR. Here not required. Now LR is enough here. Or else here, if you're not given that plus 1, in everywhere you have to give plus 1 plus 1. To avoid that, initial only I am using that plus 1. LR comma A column. What I want to print, the user what he fill in a text box 1. That text box 1 I rename as T
Details.
date. Then cells of LR comma B column. That is also text box, right? I given that name as a T name. And cells of LR comma C equals to T email, correct? Cells of LR comma D T contact. Okay, if you get confusion or if you forgot that name what I given, you just go over the user form, just click on that. You can see it here again. Again, double click on submit. You will come here again. Okay. Then gender. Gender we have two options there, male or female, correct? Option button we have. For option button, only text box directly we can mention. If we have option button or a checkbox, there we have to use a if condition. If T male or a T female equals to true. If it is a check, that will be giving a true result here. Then output where I should print LR comma E column as a female, correct? Else cells of, we have only two option there, two option button. Directly you can mention that if male is not, if female is not, obviously it's a male, right?
Yes.
So we have to use a if condition when we have checkbox or option button. Okay.
Okay.
Then qualification, I have a drop down there, combo box, right? Then cells of direct, you can mention those all things, those things also. EF column. What I want to give, E Q U A I given, right? Then cells of LR comma G experience. Sorry, education experience EXP. T I'm missing T. At combo box directly you can mention, not a issue. Okay, is it clear?
Yes.
Yes.
And now course. That courses we have a multiple options. That is also a checkbox. So here I'll use a if EXL equals to true, then after if you're given a output, after then only write to the then if you're giving the output, not a below. If you started output and if is not required, this is just one more shortcut method in a if condition. Okay, in if condition If you're not, if you're using a then, directly you can mention if txl is equals to true, then output should be print in cells of lr comma h column as excel, correct? Excel should be in double quotation because that is text. Next, again, if tvba equals to true, then cells of lr comma h equals to vba. But the thing is, the who take two courses excel with a vba. The problem is here, it will overwrite first excel, it will print excel, later on it will overwrite on vba, because if he is taking a two courses together, here should print excel and a vba, it will print like this. Now what we are code we are given, but what we need, excel should print, after that it should print a vba here both. So that's a reason what we need to do is we need to use a concatenate with the same cell. The same cell, whatever it's a giving, after that I want to give the cell reference and I need a one space after that. If it is a printing a next course name. Understood this? Whatever there in already that cell, it should not over reflect there. It should be print next to that content, next to that course name. Clear?
Yes.
Smita,
Yes, yes.
Aishwarya?
Yes.
Yes. The same thing. Here I'll just copy and paste this for 6 times. I'll rename this TSQL equals to true. Then here should print a SQL. Then here T next Power BI. It's not mandatory to give a serial. You can give whatever you want first or whatever you want to be last. Okay, it's not need to be considered as a sequence. Not required. Then Power BI. The next thing what we have, the next course tally we have, right? Tally. Then here should print as a tally. And the last course what we have, if you get then double click on the user form, Python we have. It's a Python, should print a Python here. Okay, it's a done. The code is written now. I will go with the F5. The user form will get displayed here. I'll mention that 4th December 21 is a date. I'll mention my name Akash, email ID akash@gmail.com. Contact number, I will write my contact number here. BCom experience. Then I'll select all the courses to check. Okay. Then once the user will submit, here, all is printed, right? But experience is not printed. The rest of the things are coming, but experience is not yet printed. So what I will do is I'll close this user form. I'll check that for tray named IDs for this TEDU I given. Sorry, that I given their experience, right? EXP. I'll rename this. And again, I will check with is it correct? EXP experience. Yes, now it's fine. I'll try again with the new F5, and I'll go with again one more data for December 21. I'll take a name, email ID, contact number, email, MBA, three courses. I'll select, then submit. Now here it's a printed this experience also. Clear? Is it understood or any doubt? Or
Yes, understood.
okay, then now the user form who is filling the next form, right? First thing what you have to do now, you have to the user should remove this first, then it has to be filled. Then again here, it's a very difficult to remove this, clear this user form. Now I'll write a clear, because clear code we are not written, right? So just what we have to do, we have to write a code for a clear. So double click on the clear function command button, double click and write a code here. The clear is just a very simple t date equals to nothing. What all the text box we have, right? We have to do that nothing. T name equals to nothing. T email equals to nothing. T contact, what name you are given, right? You have to give the same name, equals to nothing. And a male or female, whatever we have, right? T female, we have to make a false there. Female equals to false. Okay. Then we have a TQU qualification equals to nothing again. TEXP equals to nothing. And the TXL equals to false. TVBA equals to false. TSQL equals to false. T Power BI equals to false. T Tally equals to false. Then T, last one is a Python, right? Python equals to false. Okay, now save F5. The user will enter their detail here. Contact number. Okay, then submit. It will print all the information, then clear. It will clear everything. The user form is empty now. Just clear button will help us to clear all the things what the user is filled. Okay, is it clear?
Yes.
Muthu, can you
Yes.
text me if you understand? Can you hear me all?
Yes, yes, Akshay.
Yes.
Yes. And now the user who is filled this form, he will click on a submit. He will forget to click on a clear button. Even he don't know what a clear button will do exactly. But for everyone, I can't say once you submitted clear that form to clear that. It's not good, right? So once you submit that, automatically it will print all the things. After that, it should print all the things here. After that, it will clear a user form as well. So what I'll do is I will call that function here itself, submit button. What the name you're given here, right? After subroutine, the name is there, no? Just you can copy that and you can call here before end sub. What happens here? First, it will run started from here. When it meets here that subroutine name, it will go on top. It will execute these all things, then go on end sub here. Later on, it will go end sub here. Once we finish that clear coda, then it will goes on end sub here. Now see, so very simple. When I'm doing this, F5, the user will create a form, name. Okay, then submit. Once you click on that submit, automatically the user form will also get clear directly. Not required to press on clear button now. This is a call a subroutine we can use here. If you are writing a code in different subroutine, you can initialize those all things in a one subroutine. You can run the code at a one shot. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. So here we done this basic using a user form. This is a very important. So now I'll tell you that how to create a advanced user form. Here, advanced user form is nothing but here we took a reference for this and this, right? If anyone is deleted this, it will be a problem there in a user form. Instead of taking this as a reference, directly we can add in a user form only. I will teach you that how. And the user have to be filled. User should be print a today's date here every time. But automatically it should give the today's date directly instead of giving that all things. Okay. That how we can create a date and how can we create a drop down. That I will teach you now. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll insert a one user form here. This I'll rename this user form name as enquiry form. Enquiry form. But I'll delete this. Oh, sorry, this. I'll insert a one more user form. I'll adjust the size. This only. Then what I'll do is I will increase that size first. Okay. Then I have we insert here one label as a date. Text box I'll give. Okay. This label name I'll rename as a date. And this label name I'll rename as this caption. Cannot say the caption here.
Name you have to change.
Yes, yes. This name I'll rename this as a U date. Okay, U date I take it. Then here I'll insert a one label. That label name as I'll create here for the education. I'll insert a combo box here. I'll rename that combo box as UEDU. Okay. I'll insert a submit button here, command button for submit, command button to submit that user form. Rename this as to submit. And here I'll rename this as you submit. So, okay. So now when I do FI here, automatically here should be print as a date. And here the drop down, I want to create a drop down here. So for that, don't double click on the submit. Where I have to click is where you can see the blank place in the user form, right? Double click over there. Okay. Then once you click or double click outside of the any command, don't click on any label or don't click on any text box. Just blank place where we can see, right? There we have to click a double click there. And here in command, we have to select first initialize here. Can you see the initialize here? Here on top right side, we
Yes.
have to select the initialize command here. Automatically it will add here the initialize user form initialize. Then now that name I given as a u date, right? U date text box name is equals to just I will use a now formula. Fi I will use the now formula. If I'm using, it's a giving here today's date with a current time both, but I don't need a time, I need only a date. So now formula will help us to give a today formula will won't work in VBA. Remember, only we use a now. But if I want to get only a day, we have a format option here. Format, open bracket. Here it's a giving date and time both. I need a date format like this, DDMM and YYY. Then close that. Now FI. You will get a format what you will mentioned here. Okay. This is just how we can initialize. And what is that name? With combo box, right? Combo box name is a UEDU. So here end with edu and end with dot add item bcom dot add item mba dot add item be dot add item bc dot add item this fi. Now you can see those all things here without taking any reference. Then again, if you want to write a code and submit, automatically it will given, because that we not given that. If you want to give that also, just click on this. Here I want to collect the date and education here. So for that, I'll double click on submit button now. Here we have to start writing a code. LR I will find out first. Rows.count, comma 1 and excel up dot row. So first LR, sorry, cells of LR comma A equals to U date, cells of LR comma B equals to UEDU. Then if you want to clear that, here only you can clear it. U date equals to nothing. U edu equals to nothing again. F I'll do, and I'll check this. Then submit. But LR1 plus 1 I not given. That's a problem. Rename this. I'll make it close this. Date and education. I will go back to the code, submit. Here I forgot to do a plus 1 here. So if I click submit. Clear. Understood this, Smita, Aishwarya?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, this is how we can use the advanced user form. To just we have to select outside, click outside, and here we have to select the initial command option. Okay,
Yeah.
and how can we display the user form? Display the user form is nothing but a user don't know how to display the user form. So there we have to we have to add a one button here. That button is nothing but just a very simple. Here we have to go and insert that any one button here. Okay, then I'll change this color, open user form. Okay, the open user form, which user form you want to open, right? I want to open a user form, this user form, that I'll rename this user form name as uh, simple user form. Okay, simple fine given. So if you want to use that, so what I'll do is user form, I'll insert one module. I'll rename this module as user form support. You can not require it to give a name compulsory, just I'm using that. So sub, I'll give that name, open or display the user form. Okay, so user form dot that name is what I given, the user form name simple user form, right? Simple UF I given that name here. Dot show. Okay. Once you show that, what is that subroutine name? Display user form, right? So right click here, right click in the save, assign macro. Here you can see all the subroutine names, whatever we can have in this workbook. Now what are my name? Display user form, right? Go here down, you can see that somewhere here. So started with the D, right? Display the user form. Select, then OK. Now once I click that, the user form will be displayed like this. So not only user form, but user form, you should create a one module, separate module for that. But if you want to assign this particular code, consolidation one-time header match, so just what you have to do, go and insert a shape here, whatever the shape you want, take it. Then here consolidation, whatever the name you want to give or not, red let it be. So right click here, assign macro, and you can macro with anything, just okay. Once you click that, not required to go and do F5 or F8. If you click on that button, automatically it will be run that code, that subroutine. Understood?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, this is a user form, basic to advanced user form. What I teach to you guys. Okay, practice these all things today. Then only the topic is we need to finish. That is Outlook connection and each loop. I will clear those all things tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
Okay then.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I will mail you this. Just download and practice. Okay.
Yes,
See you
yes.
all. Bye bye.
Okay, bye.